Two, one. All right. Well, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joshua Smith. This is Raw Insights. We're kind of starting back up. We had a few, how do you say, setbacks? Not really like setbacks, more of, I guess you'd say, me not taking responsibility, keeping up with it. But here we are. We're back. And today we're talking about something a little more, I guess, serious that a lot of people don't really talk about. We're talking about love. And it's not just any love, obviously, you say you have familial love, yeah, but we're talking more on the romantic aspect of love, and we're diving into kind of the idea of knowing what like truly loving looks like before you go looking into it. So that's the title for it. Not looking for love without knowing what it looks like. So before we get started, I'd like to kind of go into a verse which is located in First Chronicles chapter 13, verse 4 to 7, where it says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And, kind of like what it's saying there is like, it's giving like this blueprint basically for, what love should look like. And, how often do we, go searching for love without even knowing what we're looking for, right? Too many times we allow society and, our emotions to kind of dictate what love should look like, but it's way deeper than that. Like, to put it into perspective, I guess, like, if you don't know what true love looks like, you might end up chasing shadows. Like, how can you go chasing something you don't know what it looks like, right? Like, you won't know what you're looking for. You go into a jungle looking for a tiger, but you've never seen a tiger before, you're not gonna find it. So let's talk about the importance of recognizing love before you seek it out. Love isn't just a feeling. It's a reflection of who we are and how we treat others. If we don't understand love, we might mistake toxicity or, for passion, or it's just convenience for commitment. We're not gonna really get what we're aiming for, if that makes sense. Let's look at another verse, is 1 John 4, verse 7 to 8. It says, "Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love." And it's really simple, it's kind of straightforward. Love is born from knowing God. So when you know who you are in Christ and, understand how he loves you, only then can you truly recognize the type of love that's meant for you. Now, like, we're getting into the practical steps here. The practical steps to kind of like ensure that, you're not out there chasing the wrong thing, chasing infatuation or something else, mistaking that for love. It's the first step. Step one is knowing yourself before looking for love. And, it's just having a clear understanding of your own identity, your needs. Love doesn't complete you. It enhances you and like what you already have within. It's not like you're going to go out searching for, like people say you're searching for your second half, but your second half, it's not in the sense of, you're already missing a piece. It's you're going whole, but they're going to kind of complement what you have there already. I feel like I kind of said something there that might have contradicted or something. I don't know, but I get a little rabbit trail. But anyways, step two is having boundaries. Love is about respect, and boundaries protect that. Knowing what you won't tolerate means you're less likely to accept unhealthy relationships. Like having boundaries, you're setting boundaries. You're like, okay, well, for example, we won't kiss. No kissing until marriage. Something like that. Or it's like, whenever we hang out, we're only going to hang out with people around us, other people. It's never going to be like one-on-one, like setting boundaries. That's going to kind of keep you in check, so you know your limits, basically. Step 3, understand the sacrifice. True love isn't about protection, it's about selflessness, and it's choosing each and every other day, basically, to through like the good and bad, to still stick with that person, stay by that person. You're still kind of, it doesn't matter what happens, you're still gonna be with that person. It's, sacrificing your pride, your ego, whatever it is that's like, might cause problems. Because nowadays we have a lot of people there, like a lot of breakups are caused because they're like, okay, well, you hurt me, I'm gonna forget everything else that we had, what we went through, everything, because you hurt me, and that stuck to me. When sometimes you just kind of have to like sacrifice how you're feeling in the moment. You can talk it out, and you get through it. But nowadays, I feel like relationships nowadays is a lot more like flimsy. It's like, okay, well, when it's convenient, like okay, I don't feel comfortable right now. I don't really feel like I want to have a relationship right now, so I'm gonna break up with you. And then it's like a month later, you start regretting it. It's like, okay, well, I was just feeling that in the moment, Step 4. I feel like I kind of rabbit trailed right there. I went off a little bit, but step 4: be patient. Rushing into relationships for forcing love to happen, it doesn't allow the space for the right connection. As in the Bible, it says, Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Just to kind of end off, like kind of where it's saying there's a time for everything. You're not gonna be like, okay, well, I'm feeling lonely, so I'm gonna go find myself a girlfriend, or find myself a boyfriend. It's more of be in the season that you're at. Right now, God might have you in a place where it's to kind of just wait, wait on Him. Maybe it's like a learning. You're just taking time off to work on yourself. There's no really like need to rush into a relationship. There's nothing that says, okay, you're not in a relationship, that's bad, something like that. But yeah, okay. So moving on. These are just, I guess, some kind of how do you say it, like last minute quotes or whatever, just to kind of end it off. It's some last things I'm going to say is, you can't pour from an empty cup. First you have to like fill yourself with the love that will keep you whole. If you have, like, say if this cup was like empty and I tried to pour it into another cup, nothing's going to get in there. It's kind of like in the same way that if you don't have like in that understanding for yourself of what love is, or you don't have love for yourself and stuff, you can't give that other person the love that's required, and they also can't like give you can't receive it because you don't know what it is. The second thing is, love is not about finding the right person, it's about becoming the right person. I really like this quote where it's like it says, become the person you're looking for is looking for. You're not gonna walk into a coffee shop and there's your person. Like I don't believe in soulmates. This thing where they're like, okay, well, I don't need to go out looking because my soulmate's out there, it's gonna happen, and this and that, because there is work that has to be put in. It's not just that it's this magic thing, you snap your fingers, boom, your person's there. The third thing that I was gonna say is, don't look for someone to complete you, look for someone who compliments you. I think I kind of said that in the beginning, but you're not looking for somebody that, okay, if you have some weak points right here, they're gonna fill those points or whatever. It's somebody that compliments you. So if you have like some healthy positive traits, some green flags, if you will, modern terms, they're gonna kind of like compliment, they're gonna build you. Iron sharpens iron. So it's kind of like in the same sense. It's when you go looking for that someone, or it's not, you're looking for somebody that how do you say, has their own traits and like focuses on that. It's more of somebody that they're gonna build you up. They're gonna keep on building on what you already have there. It's kind of like you guys grow together, not that you're already grown in your set areas and it's just gonna like be there. The fourth thing is, if love doesn't build you up, it isn't love. I feel like that's kind of like a straightforward thing. It's like, if it's something that tears you down, then like you're not supposed to be there. It's kind of like, you don't go into sin knowing, like knowing that it's sin. That's just stupid. That's just plain like, that's a fool. You're being a fool. If you want to get like kind of biblical, like in the Bible, how it says the thing about the dog that goes back to his vomit. Like, that's the same thing. It's like, you're a fool because you're not gonna go into something knowing that it's gonna break you down. And in the same way, I don't think that a relationship that doesn't build you up is kind of going with like the same thing for number 3. Is you want to go for something that complements you, something that builds you up, something that helps you grow. Moving on to number 5. I really got to wrap this up. Kind of going a little longer than I expected, but number 5, chasing after the wrong kind of love will leave you running in circles. Know your worth before you give it away. And it's kind of, I struggled with this myself, especially. It's more of being kind of like desperate, I guess you could say. Like, you have to know your worth. You're not giving your all if the other person isn't also, and I'm not saying it's okay. So here's another thing about modern day dating. It's so toxic in the way that they're like, okay, if he wanted to, he will. If she wanted to, she would. Or the 50-50 thing. It's not supposed to be 50-50. It's 100-100. You give your all, he gives his all, or whatever, vice versa. Like, it's not okay, if she doesn't do her part, I'm not going to do mine. You still do your part. Just because they're not performing doesn't mean that you're not doing your part. That's on them, but you still do your part. There's no reason to kind of, there's no reason to be petty about it and be like, okay, well, they're not, you have to know your worth. Like, obviously, I feel like I rabbit trailed right there again, but knowing your worth, yeah. And then, well, I guess that's kind of all I had for today. I was planning to do only like a 8-minute video, kind of. I'm trying to do shorter podcast episodes because I noticed that I guess, I don't know. I guess it's like whatever people want to see, but I hope that kind of cleared up a little bit. If anyone's listening, they have had questions on it, I hope that it cleared up something. And yeah, well, thank you guys for listening. This is my podcast. We're starting back up. We're gonna kind of be a little more consistent, try to get a little more content out there, do a little more, solo podcast episodes. I noticed that all of mine's before were kind of just, with somebody else. So with everyone's availability and stuff like that, I figured I ought to do some alone. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. See you guys on the next one.